I have not changed it since the last
Okay, it should just be that. Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. Okay, whoa, it's dark in here. It is dark in here.
Yeah, it does seem pretty dark.
Well, the light's not on.
Oh, yeah, let me get that.
1 second, y'all. Be right with you.
Oh, that's better.
We got the light. It's not shining into the camera. There we go.
Is that too dark? Here, what if I...
Then,
put it on the ceiling. All that. How did we do this before? It's moved close.
it was like moved
I don't
close.
know why it's darker. It definitely is darker though. Huh.
Are the lights not on all the way? No, there's only one light, isn't there?
Oh, I wonder if they're dimmed.
1 second.
There we go.
There we go. That's why it was so dark.
Something's different in this place.
That looks better.
I lived for 9 months. I should
I
know.
was like, why are the lights like this? All right. Hello, guys. We're right with you.
We'll start in just a minute.
Sure. Copy. Just now. Go. Whenever you're ready.
Almost.
If I go like.
I always want to send it to you. I still do that.
Perfect.
One more person.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Nerdkave podcast. I'm Miles.
I'm Max.
And we got a bunch of topics to talk about today.
do.
We're going to start it off with a big announcement. So, blink-182. I'm going to let you take it away for this one.
So blink-182, the band that for years there's been so many questions about what's the direction they're going in, what members are going to be in it, and what's the music going to sound like, and endless questions people have had. And we got answers to a lot of those questions a few days ago. So Tom DeLonge, the founding member, who had not been in the band for almost 10 years, has rejoined. They're doing a world tour, new album. Their new song Edging came out today, which we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm.
New music video for that song, which as I refresh the page, just hit 1 million views in 7 hours. It's the #1 trending thing on YouTube right now. The song is #1 on iTunes. It's crazy. Blink-182 is taking over the world right now.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like, I knew it would be big. Or I think we both, like if Tom came back.
I knew it was going to be a big, I knew it was something like I've been kind of following for a bit. I was like, is he ever going to, it was the question I think everybody on their mind has had, is he ever going to come back?
Yeah.
Will he ever come back? I know he had, Angels and Airwaves, that project, and was it seemed like he was, at one point at least, he was done with Blink-182.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point. But then, the question I think all was there for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
And just hearing it, I think it was just oh, it's actually a thing. And that it surprised me. Well, when we were talking about it last week, I was just it's gonna happen. After you kind of told me the hints of what they were doing on social media and all that kind of stuff, I was like, the only way somebody a band would absolutely do that is if they had a big announcement, and with Tom DeLonge and stuff, I was like, I knew that was going to happen.
Mhm.
And I was surprised it happened as soon as it did.
I know.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked because we have another band I'm really into, Green Day,
Oh, yeah.
who has been teasing 1972, whatever that is, an album or a inspiration for almost over a year now. Teasing with nothing. So I was like, please, Blink, do not do this to me where you're like, oh, we're teasing something. And then like a year or two from now, we'll find out that Tom's back.
It was like, yeah, sorry to cut you off,
Oh,
but like, it was like when he told me that, like all that stuff was happening with Blink, it's like literally like the next day or two is when like the news came out. And I was just like, all right.
Like, that's how you do it.
That was a pretty quick announcement. That was like, with the Green Day thing, it's like they've been teasing it for a year, but it's like with Blink, it was just right away. And it was like, oh, they're going on tour. Oh, they have an album. Like that was a lot of news all at once. And like, I think what you said earlier too about like I think also like having the Kardashians tweet about it. That was very interesting.
Yeah. Kourtney Kardashian. I mean, she's Travis Barker's wife.
Well,
so
yeah, makes sense.
It's really cool just in general, like how supportive she is of it. Cause she like wears Blink shirts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
She was posting about I think the song and the video earlier today. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Blink fans were actually thanking her from people who are not in the United States. Like they were tweeting at her saying, thank you for being the only person in Travis's life who could get him to fly on an airplane again. Yeah. Because Blink had not, for California or Nine, done any show outside the U.S. because Travis, or I think they might have done a few in Canada once too, North America, because Travis wouldn't fly on an airplane after what happened with the plane crash.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's a traumatic thing. I totally would understand not flying again. Like I would, if I was in that situation, that just takes a lot of trust. And I'm glad, she was able to comfort him to get to do that again. Cause I couldn't imagine, cause he, in that plane crash, how many people died? I don't remember. It was I
can't remember how many. I think
a lot of his friends did.
Yeah, I know like DJ AM is the main one that I see him post about a lot.
Yeah. I think it's also the survivor's guilt that kind of gets to people. And like I said, it's a traumatic thing. If that happened to me, I would just drive everywhere. But finding that person that could be like your rock and like push you to do things outside your comfort zone again, that's really cool. Yeah. And like, I'm glad that he was able to move past that. And just the sheer fact of like seeing those three together again, that's insane. And I think I was talking to Max earlier about this, but seeing Travis at his, I think we're seeing him at his second prime, where it's he's living life. He has produced music for people under his label thing that he has. And not only that, but he's also back with blink-182, his brothers. I call them his brothers. And that's just amazing to see. Because Travis has been one of those guys that's inspired me in a lot of ways to be just to keep pushing on. Right. Because I followed him back, I think I listened to Blink back in the day, but I mainly started following him because of his covers that he would do. He did a lot of drum cover stuff. Yeah, he started to do that, and then that, I was just all right. He was one of my inspirations because I used to be a drummer too, and he was the main reason why I got into drums.
That's really cool.
So, yeah, really cool. It was really cool. He was a very very talented, creative guy, and I think he is living his best life right now. Yeah,
definitely taking life by the reins. And I think that's a big part. When Blink got back together in 2008, it was because Travis survived the plane crash. They all kind of came together. And this time, as Tom mentioned in a statement, this time it was Mark had stage 4 cancer and he overcame it. Yep. And Tom said that it really put things once again in perspective. I think with Travis, the reason Tom didn't stick after that was because he already had a lot of commitments. So in 2014, he was working on, the Dreamwalker album for Angels and Airwaves. He was working on Poet Anderson, Secret Machines books, and he had a lot of commitments. So it was literally, he couldn't do Blink full time. But I think now that like the UFO stuff has come out, he's gotten like the credit I think he deserves for that.
Absolutely.
So he's made his impact in the UFO stuff. His movie Monsters of California, which is hopefully coming out this year still. That's like done filming. They finished the score for that. So, like Angels and Airwaves had Life Forms last year. So I think everything's kind of like, not that it's done as far as Tom's Company to the Stars goes, but it's in a good place where I think he can make Blink the priority again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pumped. Like,
yeah, no,
it's just so damn cool.
Yeah, I think like I am talking about Mark and the cancer and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's a lot too, and overcoming was stage 4.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah,
and like being healthy enough to go back on tour, all 3 of those guys being at the ages they are, like also to mention, like we're going to go to their first show in Minneapolis here, like just like being able to see them.
Yeah,
it's just like, wow. Like it's something that I think it's like they build it builds to a point where it's like these guys are getting older, but they're still like thriving and still together as a group, and like being able to go on this, like it's a lot of dates. I saw all the dates they were going. I was like, it's like, where are they going?
That was the first thing I saw when I opened up Instagram, because like I had known there's a guy. So the guy who announced that they were coming back in 2008 and that they were going to reveal it at the Grammys, he was like, "Hey, big stuff with Blink's happening." And so when Blink started doing their little like poster teasers everywhere, and then it was said that they were going to make it on Tuesday because the Lollapalooza lineup was happening, and like people would know something was up if it was just like Blink was on there, but they haven't been doing anything. So they had to make that announcement earlier in the day. And then there were rumors that it was going to happen. I think it was like 9 o'clock our time. So at work, I was like, oh, okay, it's getting close to 9 o'clock. I'll just open my phone to see if, because I was going to go on my break when the news hit. I was like, oh, it's a little bit earlier to open my phone to see, if anything's come out yet. I opened it up. I see that tour picture, Mark's contract. I was like, I'm going on my 15-minute break. And I went in my car and I watched, I looked at the tour dates on the Minnesota, freaked out about that. I watched the promo, their coming promo. Did you watch that? I watched that like 10 times. It was crazy because like it happened so fast. It's everything everybody wanted from a Blink return, and it's taking the world by storm right now. They're number one everywhere.
We're talking a little bit before the podcast here, but like staying on trend again, and we're like one has the ability to like then relevant to the point of like being this top in a very long time. And it's just like they, I think they deserve all the credit, and like their song, like I love that song, and it's great. I think and they love them. They talk about the album, and also another good one.
So it doesn't have an exact release date, but on the vinyl pre-order, it says expected spring/summer.
Oh, that makes sense.
So yeah.
So hopefully they'll find a tour.
Well, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, because
it
sounds like it sounds like they're on the finishing touches. Tom said in the post, and he was kind of making fun of himself, but also he could have meant it. He said, "What if I told you we just wrote the best album of our careers?" And that's something like a lot of artists do, but Tom in particular is like known for kind of being like overly confident in the work stuff. Like when Angels and Airwaves' first album came out, he's like, this album's like the second coming of Christ. And so it's kind of an ongoing joke
this is all work.
So like he was poking fun at himself with the working obviously. And yeah, it's just great seeing all of them like post and like that little the bunny promo when they're in the bunny costumes. And they took off Mark takes off the head and he's like, "Hi, I'm Mark, I play bass." And Travis is like, "I'm Travis, I drum." And then Tom's like having trouble getting the head off and he's like, "I'm Tom and I'm effing hot as F in here."
Well, the other thing, what was I gonna say? Like, I forgot what I was gonna say. Crap! It was on the top of mind. It was like Blink. Think like when it comes to them doing like shows and stuff again, I think it's like really cool that they're able to like find themselves again and kind of find like during this whole time we always wondered, where will they be, and if they like, is it going to happen sooner rather than later, or like are they actually going to reunite? And it's cool, like now they pick now to do it, and it's like I think we're at a time where it's like the music industry is very you can, I think we're talking about this before the podcast too, where you can switch you take 10 years ago, for example, and you look at the music that was like trending and stuff 10 years ago, where it was like a lot of rap and a lot of like EDM and a lot of like dance music and like stuff like that. But then in 10 years, it switched to like going back to this like emo, pop punk, rock, stuff like that. And the other thing I was reiterating too is that like, but it's almost Disneyed up, where it's like the production value went up. It's not cleaned up, but it's more, not like clean for lyrics, but more clean as in like
it's polished.
It's polished a lot more, which is awesome. And like the instruments shine. Like even in that new song, like those drums just come out.
That snare is fat, but also like it's something I've been really critical of and so Travis Barker produced this track. Aaron Rubin, who is the engineer and producer for Angels and Airwaves, he did some engineering on it. And then I forget the other guy. Was it K Thrash? I think he did some stuff. And then Travis like produced it. And with Travis's stuff that he's done, like Machine Gun Kelly and Avril Lavigne, it's been so close to sounding what I want the pop punk drums to sound like. But there's always been like a little bit of an issue I have with the snare where it doesn't have quite enough crack to it. And this had that crack in that snare, that nice, like that bottom snare and like hit of the top. And I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. And like the guitar, like you were saying, everything shines through. Yeah.
It's like a lot of music coming out with that sort of style. It's just cleaned up, but it's in a good way, where it's like it's not overproduced. I don't like that term, overproduced, because it's like sure, things can be overproduced. Some albums, it depends, but it's like overproduced is a term to me that doesn't make a lot of sense. Where it's like it's just like the instruments just shine more. And like certain songs, certain instruments just should shine more. Got drums in this one, and you got drums and you got guitar and all that stuff. But like you can tell the drums really shine. And like some songs, the drums shine, the guitars shine, the singer shines. Like it's just but with this one, I'm like I like the song, and it's like I like where everything Travis produces, and like all that recently with like Avril Lavigne. Black Bear.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting he produced Black Bear stuff.
Did he produce Mod Sun?
He did Down with Mod Sun.
Okay.
He did MGK. The other,
and like, but like all those, it's just like they're the bangers on all those albums because of his vision on things, and it's like and it's just like he takes that like blink-182 in him and like makes it shine in other artists. And you can definitely tell. And like and now he's able to go back into his own, and it's just cool. It's cool to see just those three. Just like those three, just like three dudes from where California, just it's just
Yep.
just chilling and just making music again and talking about Tom DeLonge, like his Angels and Airwaves stuff. Like you could definitely tell like there was some Angels and Airwaves influenced in the song in his voice a little bit. That little like it's like almost his voice is like airy. I don't know. It's like it's different than like his old Blink stuff. It's like you could just tell that it's like influenced a little bit with it.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up the Angels and Airwaves influence because on their album Neighborhoods, that was like the complaint people had. They're like, "Oh, this sounds like Angels and Airwaves," but really, it's just there was synth and it was a little more airy in some production.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's like you really hear, especially comparing it to the past Angels and Airwaves album, Lifeforms. Particularly, I thought of No More Guns and Losing My Mind more than No More Guns, I think. Okay. In the way that like it's still like it's very Tom. Like I think Tom said in an interview recently, it's like he still can sing like young Tom if he really pushes himself. But the problem was he was like pushing himself to the top of his range all the time with those, and it's just not like it's not fun. It's not like fun to do that when you're trying to be expressive with music, which is like all he does. Like he's all about expression and emotions and stuff. So I think now we are really getting like this is Tom, and Tom is very much the voice and like the vocal style, like you said in Angels and Airwaves, that kind of airiness to it. But he's also very much like adult joke humor, which is his Blink side. So you're really seeing like that mesh with, you know, Mark, who's always been into like comedy and writing about whatever. And then Travis is doing the drumming. Like I think this will be my personal favorite era of Blink.
Yeah. I think it's just like, I think they're coming like they're peaking right at the right time. I think like with so much going on in the world and stuff, it's just like, and also just like with popularity of things and all that, it was just like the perfect time for them to like, we're getting back together and we're going on tour. And it's like, it's get in the shot a little bit more.
Oh, am I out of it?
You're out of it a little bit. There, we're teaming. Okay, but but yeah, like I think it was perfect for them. I think it was like I think there was just like a moment where they're probably thinking like, when do we want to do this? And I think 2023 was like, that was the time where it was like, let's just do it then. And it was like MCR did their thing, and like there's not like a big like band tour coming up, at least that I know of. And so I think that was like perfect for them to just like come out and be like, all right, 2023.
So there's like, I don't know if I'd call it like a theory or a joke, but like, you know, the lyrics and What's My Age Again? It's like, and that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23. Everybody's like, oh, they did this so they can say nobody likes you 2023. And I'm like, that is so something they would do.
They would do that.
Like, I guarantee they like, if that does happen, like they say that in What's My Age Again or whatever, I guarantee, or I'll be very certain that like they planned this for years, and they're just like, we're gonna wait until that moment. So
they've been like in a room together for like 5 years at this point. They're just like, all right, guys, like 2023 is gonna be the year we get back together. But for now, just do our own thing.
Yeah, seriously.
But no, like I'm happy for them, and like I'm like looking forward to their journey, and like I'm glad to see them like trending. And it's a band that I think a lot of people, especially in America, like that we've enjoyed their music for so long, and it's just like awesome to see those three together again. And it's like, it couldn't have come at a better time. And I'm looking forward to who, like the big thing is, are they going to do anything after? I mentioned this earlier, where it's like, are they going to do anything after this? Like, could this be like one of their last rides, quote unquote, or will they make more after? I would love to see more albums.
Oh yeah,
I would love them to continue to do music for quite a while still. But it's up to them and what they want to do. But like, will they ever do a big tour like this ever again? it's a lot of dates. So it's like, it's like one of those things where it's like, I'm glad we get to see them probably at one of their last prime moments. And, like I said, I want them to continue to shine for a long time, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So, I think it's exciting. And I think like with everything, I'm glad like this music has become popular again. I'm glad like it's getting the recognition it finally deserves. I like I said, music has changed so much in the last 10 years from going from the 2010s to 2015 where it was all trap and like there was barely any like popular rock music around that time. And it's like I think TikTok helped a lot. I think a lot of social media helped a lot with like with a lot of musicians and a lot of things of like people starting to embrace that like emo part of that music stuff again. A lot of people going back to the emo and like pop punk and rock sort of thing, which that's my favorite era of music. And it's just really cool. People experimenting with things. I see people doing like a lot more electric stuff. Like I don't know if you've ever heard this band called Nightly before. Have you heard of them?
I don't think so.
They're doing like one thing I like about them, but I can show you later, is that their music is very like electronic, but it's like his voice is very like calming. And I'll show you later. But like I think it's just a resurgence of like this music that I think a lot of people enjoy just coming back. And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, the experimentation is really cool. And like with Edging, Blink's new song, it's swung. They've never done a swung song before. So it's cool to seeing people really kind of taking like whatever they typically do and putting a spin on it. And going back and touching on the Blink stuff a little bit, for all you Matt Skiba fans, there's no bad blood in the band. Tom put out a statement thanking Matt Skiba for everything he did with the band, keeping the band alive. And Matt Skiba put out a thank you note to Tom and Blink and like congratulating them on the new single. So there's no bad blood with any of the members of Blink-182 as far as we know. So everything is good. We can all just be happy about the new stuff happening.
I've been binging some Blink the last few days. Like I said, their new song, but I also went back and listened to some of their the first like 2 albums or whatever, and just like re-listening to some of the older stuff and like just like, well, I don't know. They're an amazing band, and like I'm glad there's no bad blood. I'm glad that because what is he doing now?
Matt Skiba. So Alkaline Trio just finished up a tour. They just announced a few shows in California, and they're working on a new album.
Okay.
So he's definitely busy. I hope we get another Matt Skiba on the Secrets project too, because I've been loving that stuff. And there's something else.
For Matt, and also but for Matt Skiba to step up when Tom was gone, that it takes a lot because it takes a lot to fill somebody's shoes like that, and I don't think he gets enough praise. Sometimes I know a lot of people look at him like, oh, they're a cover band now. He's not Tom. But for Matt to get up there and for Mark and Travis to trust him, I think that's really cool. And I think like he does deserve like some praise for at least, doing that in the time they needed somebody.
Definitely. And like even on their album 9, like that, as far as fans go, that was a very mixed album. People are like, oh, they're getting like too pop influenced or whatever. And like that's up to their opinion of what kind of music they want to listen to. But like without a doubt, everybody was like no heart to speak of, which like you could tell Matt Skiba put his emotion in there. They're like, that is like the song from 9. So it was cool to say, like with California, everybody was like, oh, this isn't Tom. He sounds too much like Mark or whatever. But then I think on 9, they really let his they didn't produce his vocals as much. That going back to the overproducing thing.
Yeah.
California, his vocals were overproduced. They took out the gain. And so him and Mark both had that kind of monotone sound. Didn't work. On 9, they didn't do that as much. And it sounded really good. And something I meant to say earlier, and I'll say it before I forget. When you're talking about listening to their old stuff, it was crazy because I was on iTunes and I was just looking through like, so Edging was number 1. And then I was looking through the general charts, and there are probably 5 Blink songs that re-entered the 200 numbers on there. What really blew my mind, so like all the small things was like pretty high up there. And then I think like the Rock Show or First Date was above like Late Night Talking by Harry Styles, which is one of the biggest songs right now. I was like, what's going on? Yeah. Like, I knew that like Tom coming back for Blink fans was big, but I never expected it to be like this. It's just insane. Like Blink over Harry Styles. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's something. I think, they don't just influence Americans. I think they're one of those bands that are known around the world. Like when you say Blink-182, I think a lot of people know who that band is. And it does hold like a special place in a lot of people's hearts. And it's like, it's insane to see them beating out a Harry Styles song.
I know.
Because like, I know Harry Styles is very, very famous. And Harry Styles is Harry Styles. But Blink, it's cool to see music like this do a little, have that resurgence again and have that, just that thing that they, I think, always just, I don't like it, because before social media, Blink was just a pop punk band, and like they didn't have that social media push. But now, because of social media and having all 3 of them back, I think it just boosts them even more, because it's like there was a time before social media, a time before 2007 or 2004 and all that stuff, before Facebook, and it was just MySpace, and like that's how you got your music around. It's like MySpace and like these like your own websites and all that, and then finally like now I think it's just like you can be on all platforms now, where back then it was definitely harder to put your name out there. I think. Yep. And so it's like, and having the statute that they have, they're able to do what they do because of it. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got for Blink. Do you have anything else?
No, I just like I said, they're amazing, and I'm excited to go see how their journey plays out from here on out. So I'm excited for it. Excited for new music.
New music from Blink-182 with Tom, or if we want to be British, we can say Blink-182.
182.
That's how they say it over there across the pond.
Oh yeah, Blink-182, Blink-182. Yeah, no, I think, but yeah, I think a lot of bands with numbers in their names or anything, they don't pronounce 80 or 20. It's just 121 or like 646. They don't like 64D. They don't put or 620 or 17. I think they go 17. So that's interesting to think about. Yeah, I never picked up on that. All right, moving on. We got Ezra Miller. What do we got?
So there's not a whole lot on our friend Ezra Miller, but I feel like we have to include him in the title every week now, just because it's it's our thing.
Yep. We can like I said, we can have 1 minute of him, or we can have 10 minutes of him. If there's a little bit of news, I guess.
I feel like it's almost planned, where it's like there's 1 week where there's a lot, and then there's a week where there's not a lot, and it's just kind of on this cycle that keeps going.
Like last week, we mentioned that he was doing reshoots.
Yes.
And I don't know anything else other than that. Was there some stuff?
So there's no update regarding that. There was an actress, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she came out and said like Ezra Miller is a perfect example of Hollywood trying to save itself, and I think that's a very interesting way of looking at it. We've talked about the Warner Brothers situation with this, where it's like they haven't really come out and said anything. He's back doing reshoots, so they're obviously moving forward with something. Like the Flash movie they're going to release that this time. Whether they are doing reshoots to write him out at the end or whatever, we'll have to find out when the movie comes out. But they're doing it. So that's all the Ezra Miller news in terms of updates. Do you have any thoughts on the Hollywood protecting itself kind of thing?
Protected, kind of, so like having Ezra Miller do these reshoots makes Hollywood good or bad?
Well, so like kind of like it's trying to, I would say bad. Like they're trying to do what they can to still get this thing out that has a negative association with it.
Yeah, I guess, it's one of those things where it's like any publicity is good publicity.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh yeah, we have this Ezra Miller guy. He's has a lot of attention right now. Yeah, he's not doing all these good things, but it's like he apologized. So I guess that's good enough for us. So yeah, you can reshoot.
That's so. That's it right there. Well, he apologized, kind of. So come on back.
He hasn't done anything too bad, I guess. But no, like he's done some shitty things, and like I think everybody knows that. But I think it's just the comedic thing about it is just like him doing whatever he wants, and then he can go back and do his thing. And Warner Brothers like, yeah, money, and then so we'll see. And like. If they're doing reshoots, to me anyway, it seems like that they're going to release this thing at some, because there wouldn't be a point of doing reshoots if they weren't going to do anything with the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It just seems like very odd if they do reshoots and not release it, because that's just like, why are you doing it then?
Although honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Well, I think he would have to do something at this point. I think he would have to just do something really out of pocket for them not to release this movie, where it's like he commits mass murder, or like
I don't want to say that's going to happen, but it would very much be the luck of this movie for them to finish reshoots and then like a day later a bunch of stuff, like next Friday. This is the less news week, so next Friday we're going to have a lot of news if the pattern continues. I'm sure it'll be whatever. Yep. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm sure something will go down.
We'll see. The story of Ezra Miller will continue for a lifetime. So we'll see what next week holds. We're in for a journey with that one. All right. So moving on to something that's kind of unfortunate and sad. Robbie, how do you say his last name? Coltrane. Robbie Coltrane, Hagrid from Harry Potter, has passed away. Yes. Him as Hagrid. So I watched The Sorcerer's Stone when I was younger. I replayed that VCS. I can't say.
Is it VHS or VCR? Which one?
VHS tape. Sorry. Oh my God. I don't know what my
I couldn't remember
dyslexic ass was talking about. VHS tape. Yes, I would. Cause I used to have a really small TV, like a very, very small RC TV. Had a tape. Put that bad boy in, and then it would rewind all the time. That was one of the movies I rewatched over and over and over when I fell asleep. And I remember just like he was a part of my childhood. I watched pretty much all the Harry Potters. I don't think I actually watched the last 2 or 3.
We need to get on that. We'll have a Harry Potter.
But other than like he has been a part of my childhood growing up, and like he's Hagrid. The guy that's like, you're a wizard, Harry.
Yep.
And like he's the big lovable guy that he's like a father figure to a lot of those guys, people. And I don't know, just him passing away. I think it just hits a lot of people. Just when who's the other one that passed away?
There's been a few. Well, like Alan Rickman,
Snape,
Snape. The big one that people think of a lot.
And like when he passed away, and who was the other one?
I can't remember the actor's name. Uncle Vernon passed away.
Yeah. Like, it's just sad to see. And like, rest in peace to him. And like, the Harry Potter series, like again, it was a part of my childhood. And I remember going to the theaters and watching, I think the first 4. Mm-hmm. I saw the first 4 movies in theaters, and like, I always had a good time, and always, I don't know, it's sad, and like, I hope his family the best, and everybody that's ever met him or worked with him, like, I heard that he was just a very great guy.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I think it's always tough when someone from your childhood passes away, because it's kind of not to relate like the character or the actor to the character, but it's almost like that character isn't there anymore either. So it kind of hits you in a double sense. And it's like, I don't know. it's a weird feeling
Mhm.
because like Hagrid, he's like I always kind of view him as like the fun uncle for the kids of Harry Potter.
Yes.
And just he's like one of like he is the wholesome character.
Yep.
Like hatching Norbert in the Sorcerer's Stone, and like everything he does for Harry, Ron, and Hermione throughout the series. And like you said, with Robbie Coltrane's family, I wish them the best. The Harry Potter cast, there's a lot of them I'm sure that are thinking of him right now. J.K. Rowling, anybody who worked with him or knew him, I'm sure it's impacting them a lot. And you can talk for a minute. I have to go. We have to do
another thing about him was that I saw that he like in I think one of the documentaries he mentioned like 50 years from now after he passed away, he said that like even like 50 years from now, people will know this character and like know these characters and enjoy that the work that he did and all that stuff. I forget what it was exactly he said, but it was pretty much along those lines. And it's just like I think it's just it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate and sad that he passed away. And for the Harry Potter community and like people that grew up with him and everyone that's ever worked with him, I wish them all the best. And just to think of him today and like it's his day, and like I think it does come as a shock, kind of out of nowhere, kind of like the actor that played Snape when he passed away and all that. Like it's just so sudden when actors pass away or people you look up to pass away. It's just very like wow, like it's just shocking, and like I wish them the best. So watch some Harry Potter today, or go do something Harry Potter like.
the first Harry Potter item I owned.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Little statue.
Yeah.
So I figure we get that out. And then
did you go to the wand store?
Yes, I just visited Mr. Ollivander.
Okay.
For you.
Wow.
So in the Harry Potter community, it's a thing where whenever an actor passes away, we raise our wands for them.
Okay.
So Robbie Coltrane, we raise our wands for you.
Raise them.
Miss
you, buddy. Thank you. He'll be our buddy for the rest of the stream.
Oh yeah.
I like these wands.
Oh,
they're cool. These legit?
Yeah, Noble Collection. They have all the replicas.
Swish and flick. Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa. It's Leviosa.
Dare I do my Professor Flitwick impression? Swish and flick. Wingardium Leviosa. See here, everyone. Miss Granger's done it.
God, I have to watch it. There's this Lego set that I want to get. It's the chessboard. You can get like the chessboard,
wizard chest,
the wizard chest, and I'm like, oh, I should fucking get that. That thing would be so cool.
Yes, do it.
So moving on from that, I just pretty much told them like watch Harry Potter today. Like it's his day, and just remember him and keep him in your thoughts. So moving on, DCEU. What's going on?
Well, that's the question. What is going on at the DCEU? There's so many leaks and rumors, alleged things. Warner Brothers, don't take this video down. There's so many things. Like apparently the Snyder Cut is going to be on the big screen for the first time at some points. Henry Cavill might be back as Superman in Black Adam. They might be restoring the Snyderverse in some way, shape, or form. There's a lot of things coming out right now, and it really just sounds like the only thing that truly has any direction going forward is Joker 2 and Batman 2.
Okay.
Everything else is just kind of open. Like nobody truly knows what's going on, I don't think.
Okay.
And it's just... it's the same thing that we keep talking about when this comes up. It's like, what is the DCEU? What will it become? They have this supposed 10-year slate But then there's the whole merger with Discovery, and it's like, how does that affect things?
Oh yeah,
Just-
we haven't talked about that in a while.
Yeah.
I guess you haven't heard a whole lot about what's going on.
We haven't been getting updates. I think when Black Adam comes out, they'll put out a statement and be like, hey, this is like the first movie of our slate or whatever. And then they'll kind of be like, hey, this like the direction forward starts now.
The one thing I always wonder, because Flash is part of DC, right? And
Yes.
you also have what the hell did John Cena play? Peacemaker.
Well, that's getting a season 2. So
Yeah.
that's pretty
So
as well.
like Peacemaker, I'm excited about that and stuff. It's like I'm excited for the Joker 2. They're probably still in production, or if not already shot.
I think it's actually just going to start production soon.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And I guess it's been really quiet on their end for a bit. I think they're still doing contract stuff with mergers with Discovery Plus and all that. So there's probably a lot of contract stuff they're talking about. And,
yeah.
So I think it's just there's going to be a point where things are just going to switch over. They'll have the library of stuff, and then we'll probably get more news once the merger happens. So it might be a bit. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that at all. And getting licenses, getting contracts signed, getting all this stuff. It takes a while. It can take a while. It's like when Disney and Star Wars had their thing, and Marvel and Disney had their thing too. It's just like I think it just takes a while for things to be set in motion, and then they come up with this plan. It's one of those things. Companies always promise things, and it's like they don't deliver on the promises 100%, or it's like they promise things, but it takes a while for that stuff to be actually started.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Joker 2, I'm excited for Joker 2. It's a movie. I love the first Joker, and the fact that it's getting a sequel is I knew it was going to happen, but I'm happy it's almost like a musical where it's got Lady Gaga.
That's
in
what
there,
we've heard.
And
I'm so curious about this.
I'm interesting about it. It's interesting, and like I said, I don't think there's a better cast for it. So what they decide to do with the story and how it'll go, I'm excited to see where it goes from there.
Definitely.
What other
the Batman, the sequel to that.
So waiting for the sequel to that. I mean, granted, Batman's still pretty new. It's what came out was that 2020 or 2020? 2021.
That was earlier this year. That was March. I know, right?
This year?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is this year just going by really slow, or
it's going by slow until you realize that it's almost over, and then you realize it went by really fast. To me, it seems like there's certain things that have just kind of placed itself as things that happen, but you don't really know when. And then there's the rest of the year, which it just blew by.
Usually, I remember things really well, but I didn't realize the Batman came out this year. God damn, it feels like years ago. Well, I think that's one of those weird things that's happening where it's something releases, but then the relevancy of it drops within a month.
Yeah.
It's it'll reach its high point and then it'll just die and nobody talks about it and then you feel like it's been over a year since anyone's like, oh yeah, what's going on with that? It hasn't even been a year yet. That's crazy. Wow. Hasn't been that long. Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna watch that this month for sure. Get those Halloween vibes going.
I'm guessing there'll be a sequel because they made their money back on it. So yeah, I'll be excited for that when they decide to shoot that, and then I think it's they had what was that one show that got canceled on CW?
Oh, there were quite a few. I think the one you're referring to, though, is Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights. Was that canceled? Yeah, that was canceled.
That was canceled. Yeah. Flash was canceled. It's getting a half season to send it off.
I was kind of excited for Gotham Knights.
I was excited to experience whatever Gotham Knights was going to be. I don't know if I could say personally I was excited for Gotham Knights.
No. I was more. I wanted to see how this how it would fall apart. This common CW TV shows where it's where the production falls flat. And it's I was looking forward to that. But it's okay.
They should give us just whatever episodes they had done. Just put it on HBO Max and see what happens.
Oh my goodness, man. Sometimes the bad stuff is good.
Yeah.
So you never know. But I'm glad that it is what it is. I heard when that was announced, I think everyone was like, "Oh boy," it's one of those things where it's like they keep making spin-offs of things, and it's like when they turn it into a TV show, sometimes depending on what it is, it's like.
It also just was not Gotham Knights at all, like what Gotham Knights truly is.
Mm-hmm.
And the CW has this tendency. It's like I don't know if they can't use Batman or they don't want to, but they have a tendency to like take things that they could use, that they could work around Batman with, and completely not do what those things are, which is exactly what Gotham Knights was going to be.
It was going to be a teeny bop.
Yep.
Like I mentioned, it was just going to be like these teens and probably a lot of fuckery that was going to happen, and like relationships and breakups and who knows what. It was a teen show. So
I mean, like
Batman's
son was definitely going to get with the Joker daughter.
I would 100%. That probably was going to happen.
Yep.
I would have.
We can't do this because your dad wants to kill my dad.
Yeah.
Well, because Batman was dead at that point, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. I myself, that would have been like something I would have predicted would have happened. I would just be like, those two are going to get together somehow, and it's going to be like, this is forbidden. But
Harley Quinn Jr.
Yeah. So I don't know. We dodged that. All right. We got about 10 minutes left.
Yes.
So we don't want to shoot right into music.
Let's do it.
All right. You go first.
Well, for music, obviously Blink-182.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been listening to. I did listen to the leak, so I've been listening to it since like later yesterday. But I've listened to that track at least 50 times today, and that's probably an understatement.
So when things leak, I tend to like replay the leak, even if it's 30 seconds. Yeah. I just put it on loop for like an hour. I'm like, bro, this is going to be sick when it drops.
There's literally been, I'll say, including time of driving, there's been an hour since I woke up at 5:20 to now where I have not listened to the song. It's been on repeat on Spotify and the music video all day. So yeah, that song, I love it. Again, I'm
just like, listen to it until I get sick of it. Mission accomplished. Good work.
I'm not going to get sick of it though. That's the thing. My roommates are going to hate me.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that song. My band Forever Us, we put out our new song Sucker. So that's been a cool thing. It's our first song in over 2 years, and it's a new direction for the band, just in terms of really kind of realizing who we are as a band. In the past, it was always kind of teetering this line between like what Hopeless Records is doing with the really kind of like poppy rock stuff, and what like Alkaline Trio is doing with the more like dark punk stuff. And I think writing wise, like I finally found a happy medium with where I want things to be. So that's out there if anybody wants to check it out. The new Water Park song featuring Black Bear, I'm going to let you take over with that one.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as music I've been listening to goes, I think that's pretty much been it this week. I don't think there's been anything else.
All right, so Water Parks featuring Black Bear has been the song that I've been listening to. I think it was really, really well done. Same with Blink. Been switching between those two songs all day because they both released today. But I think like they both really shine in this song. I like the story that they told. I like it. Fuck About It. It's like it's basically a spin-off of Talk About It. Like, we don't want to talk about it, we'll fuck about it. And I just thought that was a pretty cool analysis where it's like, we don't like to talk, all right, fine. Black Bear's verse was beautifully well done. I thought, it was something that I think, it was funny because before even Black Bear's album came out, we were talking like, you were saying, man, he should do a song with Water Parks. And it's so funny. They went on tour together and made a song. And it was just like, wow.
I'm just speaking things into existence. I don't want to say I'm like a fortune teller or a genie or anything.
That's just crazy. It was just
we got Black Bear and Water Parks. Tom's back in Blink. Now, if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters come back to Marvel, I'm just gonna I have superpowers.
Real quick, and we'll go back into music for a sec. We talked about Ryan Reynolds, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we did that. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. I didn't remember if that was last week or not.
So. I think that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, no, great song. Let me take a look here. I know I've been listening to some other. Been going back and listening to some of their Blink albums. Self-Sabotage by Waterparks featuring Good Charlotte.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. All Time Low, Sleepwalking. I think I mentioned that last week. That's a really good song too. Let's see. I already said that one. Talked about that one already. So yeah, just kind of I was again still listening to My Chemical Romance and stuff. Just yeah, I'm like I said, I'm glad music is going the direction that it's been going in, and like every song that's coming out that by artists that I love, they're hitting really well, and it's just like this weird time where it's just like every song is a banger, and it's like it like left and right, like the songwriting and instrumentation of these bands and like these artists have been like incredible, and I can't praise them enough for what they're doing. Like it's just like the one thing that surprised me, I guess, was like when you said that whole song with like Black Bear and Waterparks and all that, where it was and the fact that they went on tour together. Out of all the bands, it's those two bands that happened. The Black Bear and Waterparks, and it was just like they made a song. Like I'm still shocked that was like a thing. Like
yeah. Well, my question is like I wonder when it happened. Like, was it a thing where
they made it on tour?
Waterparks. Well, so that was a thing that that like artists are starting to do. Like I know Neck Deep does that a little bit. Blink-182, when they did their tour with Lil Wayne, they recorded and then released the like featuring Lil Wayne. What's My Age Again?
Yeah, I remember that. Everyone has mixed emotions. Everyone has mixed emotions about that song.
Yeah, I do too.
It was very interesting.
It has its place in history as existing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's getting to the point with artists where they can bring gear. You bring a computer, you have Logic, you bring your microphone, you have a little area in the bus where it's isolated enough, and you can record stuff.
Yep. Just I know like some of the buses, they have like closets. You just soundproof the closets and record vocals in there.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And you have all the instrumentations on Logic and Pro Tools and all that stuff. And then you just have to record vocals and you can make songs on the road.
Totally. Yeah. I almost wonder if it was the situation where like Waterparks had this song and then they were like on tour with Blackburn. They're like, hey, what if we took out Austin's verse and put you here? And I'm sure he listened to it and he's like, oh, this is right up my alley.
Yeah.
Let me do it. So
I wouldn't doubt that at all. It was cool because when I was following them, look at when they're on tour, like you could tell like their promotional stuff kind of started because they were going out and bowling and like having a good time. So I was like, okay, they're doing something. And then they finally like announced that they made a song together. So yeah, I was excited for that. And it's funny too because on the live version, Austin sings. He does the Black Bear verse or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It still fits his voice.
Yeah,
yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
yeah. Austin can rap.
Oh yeah,
like he has that kind of rap where it's like if he wanted to be Eminem, he could.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah, man. Like,
and obviously Eminem is Eminem, but like in terms of speed,
I think like when it's funny because like when I was listening to that song, there's these little instrumentations they use that was very Eminem like. I forget. It was like there's this tune, like tone. I call it the carnival tune, where it sounds like these little instruments of like something that would be played at like or electronic parts that would be played at like a carnival.
Yeah,
and they were using it in the beginning of the kind of like beginning part of that song, and I was like, that's very like Eminem. Or like there's moments where I can tell there's instrumentations of stuff that I'm like, why does this remind me of that person?
Yeah,
I don't know. I found that funny, but no, like that was a great song, and like I'm looking forward to. They have an album coming out too, I think. So yeah. So other than that, I think that was. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for watching. This was a good episode. Hagrid joined us halfway through.
Rest in peace, Robbie Coltrane.
Yeah, rest in peace. And I just appreciate you guys watching, tuning in, and we'll be back next week. So thank you guys so much for joining. This has been Miles.
This has been Max.
And this has been the Nerdkave podcast. Take it easy.
Have a good one, everybody.
And